she looked at me again and said, "I guess the student assistant lost your application." Hi, hello, it's me, Tyra B, and welcome to my channel. Today's video is a video, but I wanted to come on here and say that I am a Spelmanite. So this semester I will be taking one course at Spelman College, the illustrious Spelman College, to help fulfill my requirements for graduation as an anthropology major at Georgia State University. I almost forgot what school I went to. A lot of people are familiar with cross-registering between Morehouse, Spelman, and Clark Atlanta, but there's also a way for people outside of that little AUC cohort to also cross-register, take classes for credit. I am able to cross-register at Spelman College as a Georgia State student because of the ARCHE program. So the ARCHE program, I don't know if it's ARCHE or ARCHE, but it's probably ARCHE, but it stands for the Atlanta Regional Council for Higher Education. I found out about the ARCHE program because I was spending time in the Woodruff Library that belongs to the AUC. I was spending time there doing research for a couple projects from last semester, and one of the library front desk guards told me that I should probably look into getting an ARCHE card, which would make it easier for me to come and go between the library because I wasn't a student of those universities. So when I went online to figure out how to get an ARCHE library card, I found the link right above it that said cross-registration. And the reason that I am cross-registering is because Georgia State, though, does offer anthropology courses. A lot of them that's being offered this spring are like time conflicting with each other, and that's no good for me because I can only take one per like time slot. So just to help fulfill that, I did check different schools in the areas. There's a ton of schools on the list, like the AUC schools are on the list, and there's Emory, and I think Kennesaw is on there. I'm pretty sure Clayton State's on there too. It's in Agnes Scott. There's so many colleges on that list. But I really went through, at first I thought about what would be convenient for me. So I really only really looked deeply into the AUC schools, but I found a course offered by Spelman that would give me 4 credits in an anthropology course, which would count towards my requirement that I need to graduate. There was a whole lot of drama around my ARCHE application because you do have to put in an application. There's a whole process. There are tons of requirements you have to meet, and then there's like another set of disrequirements, things that would get you disqualified immediately. So my story goes, I found out about the ARCHE program. I found a course. I found 2 courses at Spelman that I wanted to take. So I filled out the application, and you have to speak with your academic advisor to make sure that what you're asking for would actually help you and if it's attainable. And then I filled out the ARCHE application, and then I took it to Georgia State University's registrar's office, which is where the cross-registration coordinator is at. I turned it into the front desk and they passed it along. I turned it all in super early. I think I turned it all in the middle of October, if I'm not mistaken. I believe the middle of October. And then about 2 weeks later, at the beginning of November, I got an email saying that my request to cross-register could not be completed because graduating seniors, you cannot cross-register through the ARCHE program. You cannot cross-register the semester you are planning to graduate. Truth be told, I am not graduating at the end of spring. I will walk in commencement, but I still have to take summer classes. So technically, I graduate at the end of summer, which would make me eligible again. So I had to go redo the entire application. So I went to see another academic advisor, reprinted out the application, I redid all the paperwork, I turned it into the front desk. I did all of that, I believe, November 10th. So yeah, either November 10th or 11th, I turned it in again. So I went back to the registrar's office, saw the same student assistant at the front desk, turned it in again, told her what the situation was, and I handed her my stack of papers. She, like she did before, she took a stamp and stamped it with the date and told me that she would push it along to the cross-registration coordinator. So fast forward to towards the end of, it was really more closer to like finals time, so probably the first week of December. I hadn't heard anything back. They tell you that you'll get news, you'll get an email, a decision, whether it's good news or bad news, and I hadn't gotten anything. It had been over 3 weeks. You actually have to register for the class, and I was still waiting for an approval from the Georgia State side of the process before it could even go over to the Spelman side. And then they had to say yes, and I had to actually register. None of that had happened. It was already finals time here at Georgia State, so December, and I went to the office, the registrar's office, and I asked the same student assistant at the front desk, I asked her if there was any updates, if I could speak with the cross-registration coordinator, and she looked me in my eyes and told me to wait, that the cross-registration coordinator was backed up because there were a lot of applications. And I thought that that was a pretty good answer, so I backed off. I was like, okay, I understand. I'll just wait, and hopefully I'll hear something in the email. All of winter break, I am constantly thinking about this cross-registration application that I haven't heard anything about. I spent a lot of time like researching just in case I did get approved. So I spent a lot of time figuring out where I would park on campus, how much it costs to park, should I take public transport, would that be cheaper, what time of day should I leave to go to class. And I put a lot of thought into this class because I planned on taking this class. That's it. So fast forward to January 13th, which was the first day of classes of Georgia State's semester. Still hadn't heard anything, and I went to the registrar's office and I kind of demanded to talk to the cross-registration coordinator because I hadn't heard any news yet. They took me back to the office and we sat down and talked, and the cross-registration coordinator looked me in my eye and said, "You didn't submit another application." Throughout this entire process, all of my close friends, all of my close coworkers, all of the people I interact with in the Office of New Student Orientation / Civic Engagement, they know about the Spelman course. They know, they were there when I printed out the application. My friend Destiny was there when I went to academic advisors. She was there. I'm not crazy. I submitted a second application. I submitted a updated application. Like, that happened. I talked to Cassie. I have emails. I have receipts. That happened. She basically told me that they did not receive a updated ARCHE application from me. I explained how I did, and she said, "Who did you give it to?" And I said, "The student assistant at the front desk." She looked at me again and said, "I guess the student assistant lost your application." And I was thoroughly confused. After a long chat, she basically told me that she could push forward with just like verbal consent, a verbal application. She could push that forward to the Spelman registrars and they could make a decision, but to not get my hopes up because it was 2 days before Spelman was going to start classes. But she told me not to get my hopes up because they were probably backed up with regular student stuff and to find some alternatives to take at Georgia State, and I hadn't even fathomed that I would need alternatives for a class that I spent months preparing for. The class is a Tuesday, Thursday class. So from Monday the 13th to the following Thursday, I still wasn't approved or registered for the class. And I just went. I also didn't know where the classroom building was. So I got there early so I could find that. And I went to class. And then I got to class and there was nobody there. So that kind of threw me off. Before I decided to go to the class, I did email the professor, tell her the situation, and explain to her how I was going to show up anyway until I got registered. Well, just in case I got registered. And she didn't email me back until after I had gone to the class, after I had come back from the class, and she was sick and she canceled class. She canceled the first day class. Tuesday, I showed up for class and there was a class. It was great. The following Thursday, I went to class and we did an intro presentation. And then by the time I got back to Georgia State's campus, I got the official email with the official letter saying, congratulations, you have been accepted. You can take this cross-registration course. But the gag is, I received the acceptance letter on January 22nd. But when I opened it, the top was dated January 15th. So I was approved for the course the day classes started for Spelman. And nobody told me. So if you see me on campus, I know I've said this about Georgia State, but if you see me on campus, say hello if you recognize me. It's really nice because this particular class was not offered by Georgia State this semester. It hasn't been offered for a while. And it's definitely going to help me stay on track to graduate. Don't forget to like this video if it was helpful. I can make a separate video going more into detail about the ARCHE program and all the things that it offers, but I will leave the website link in the description. Comment if you have any questions or DM me on Instagram. A lot of people do that, so DM me on Instagram if you have any questions. And don't forget to make yourself proud today. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.